Welcome to my channel. So in this video, I'm going to be telling you why I will not leave my QwenPaw desktop application for the Hermes Agent desktop. So Hermes Agent recently launched their own desktop app. So as you could see here, I think it's kind of like pulling a lot of traction. I've been seeing a lot of YouTube videos talking about the Hermes Agent and how this changes everything. But in this video, my goal is to actually tell you why I'm sticking with my QwenPaw desktop application. So I'm going to be showing you both applications and then comparing the features one by one. So if you even look at the theme, QwenPaw say your personal AI assistants work for you, grow with you. So it's actually open source, similar to the Hermes Agent. If you look at the Hermes Agent, it's also the agent that grows with you. So both of them are kind of like, for me, very identical in what they offer. I use both of them, but the desktop application of QwenPaw for me is the best. And I kind of prefer QwenPaw to the Hermes Agent, even though it's more intuitive particularly to people that are non-programmers that don't want to ever touch the terminal. So I feel that this is the best assistant for them. And that is why I want to show a comparison of why I feel the QwenPaw desktop application remain the best. So let's see the applications in a moment. So this is how the QwenPaw desktop application actually looks like. So you could see here, it has the chart. So I'm going to be moving, using both to kind of like compare feature by feature. So I'm going to go all the way down to see if you could actually have this level of control that the QwenPaw desktop gives you out of the box. So let's look at the Hermes Agent desktop also. So you could see it here. This is how it looks like. So this is the setting panel. This is skills, tools, messaging, artifacts. You could see here. And there are also other options like here you have agents. I see agents here. But I've not seen any no live sub agents here for yet. So you could create cron jobs here and the rest. So let's kind of go through them both. So we're going to be looking at this, what the QwenPaw desktop applications give you out of the box, and we're going to be comparing feature by feature. So let's start with the chart. So you could be able to create chart sections. So creating a section here in QwenPaw is nothing but coming here to create a new chart. So immediately you create a new chart, what it does is that it creates a section for you. So you see here, and that section is totally tied to a channel called console. So there are other channels as well. So you have console, which is like you seeing what you on the terminal kind of, and then you have like Telegram and the rest. So this is how sections work. So sections are nothing but what you create to chat with QwenPaw. So if you create this chat section, so that is all. So, but if you look at the Hermes desktop application, it's also similar. For example, you see you could create a new section, and here is a section I created just to ask it about help me check skills for real estate, and it did a very nice job here. So if I want to create a new section, you see that section system. So now I have 3 active sections, and I could keep creating sections. But so that's it. So this is how you create sections. So let's go to the next feature. So we're going to be opening the QwenPaw desktop application. We are actually doing a comparison. The next thing is inbox. I didn't actually find this inbox feature. So you could actually push messages to your inbox and check them, just like you have your mail inbox. I didn't see it using the Hermes Agent. I don't think the Hermes Agent has this kind of feature. So let's move to channels. So channels is basically, for the Hermes Agent desktop, is called messaging here. So you could see here, they have this feature here called messaging. So, but out of the box, you could see that Hermes Agent desktop application here support more of these channels than the QwenPaw desktop. So you could see the QwenPaw desktop mostly being a Chinese focused app. So like most of the Chinese providers and Telegram. So as opposed to the Hermes Agent. So if you want to connect to WhatsApp, I think this could be the way to go using the Hermes Agent. So the next thing we're going to be looking at is cron jobs. So both of them have cron jobs. So here you could just define a cron job based on template, or you could create a job, and then you have a lot of things you could change in the job, and you could target the channel. So if you have many channels defined, you could channel where you want the whole thing to be delivered. So you see here, so delivery mode is to stream or final. So you see concurrency. So you have a lot of things to set, which I think for the Hermes Agent, you don't actually have that ability. So the cron is down here, and you could just create. So all you just need is just the name and then the time. So it's quite easy to create a cron here because you don't have to worry about so many of the settings, but it's not that flexible as you have in QwenPaw. So The next thing we're going to be looking at is, so out of the box, you have more control here because you can see your files, your agents.md. So when you bootstrap the personality identity of your model, it actually creates this file for you at the very beginning. So your first message you chat with a particular agent defines all this for you. So you have your memory where your agent keep remembering what you did lastly. So I didn't actually see the ability to do that within the, I can't even see those files on the UI here. So I don't think they're available. I actually checked the settings to see if I could see anything pertaining to that. So here you just have settings basically about how to, so your memory budget. So nothing specific about actually seeing what is in your memory or actually seeing what your agent is capable of doing. So it's just kind of like flat here. So let's go to the next feature here. So in the next one, we're going to be looking at skills. So this is where I feel QwenPaw kills it. So I know you could, in the desktop, I'm talking about the desktop app. Both of them, you can chat and ask them to install skills and they could automatically install skills. But I'm talking about you saw a skill in any of this hub. So for QwenPaw, you could just go look at the URL of that skill. So for example, this is a skill and this is the URL, find skill. So all you need to do is, if you have the URL there, you just need to click on import. So automatically, you see the skill, it imported this skill. That's all. So all you need is provide the URL for that skill, and then that skill will automatically be imported. And then you could sync the skill via your skill pool across. So you could select a particular skill and say you want to push it to so that other agents could use. So one of the features I want to quickly talk about is how to create other agents. So one of the things I've actually struggled with when I'm using Hermes Agent is that I want to be able to create new agents that actually do a specific thing. And from the interface here, when you see agents here, I clicked on it. I couldn't create any agent. It's not quite intuitive. You can achieve it, but it requires a lot of work out of the box. But for QwenPaw, it has this feature called agent management. So within the agent management feature, I could create new agents. So I could come here and create a particular agent. I could say, I want to create an agent that does marketing for me. I could say, I want to create an agent, a study buddy. You see, so I could say you are a study buddy or start study. I just want to save time. And that's all I need to do. All here, I need to select like which model I want to attach to that particular agent out of the box. And you see here, I could select all the built-in tools and I have an agent. And this agent could have his own skills. So I wasn't able to do this using the Hermes Agent desktop application. So you cannot define custom agent easily. I'm not saying you can't do it, but you can define it using the desktop application. As you can see here, it's so simple. I can switch between multiple agents that do different things for me. So this is kind of like my study buddy for deep learning. So you could see here that I could write stuff for me. It could teach me most of the stuffs that I want to learn when it comes to like transformers. So out of the box. So this is the agent for that. So you can't do that with Hermes Agent easily. So let's look at tools out of the box. So I think this is where I feel like Hermes Agent actually has an edge over QwenPaw. So another thing you see, it takes a lot of time for things to come up. So you could see here in terms of tool, you have this tool set. And you see, you could see so many tools here. You see so many tools. So browser automation, video analysis, mixture of agent. So there are so many tools here. And I think like, you could easily just ask Hermes Agent to create more. So both of them does exactly the same thing. But I feel like the built-in tools that came with, so if you look at tools, the tools that came with QwenPaw are quite small, but I don't think that actually limits what it's capable of doing. So both of them, I think here they do very well. So let's look at how to connect an MCP client to both of them. So you could see here for QwenPaw, if I want to connect an MCP client, let's say, for example, let me use an instance. Let's say I go to my browser, and within my browser, let me open a new tab, and I want to look for the MCP server for draw.io. Let's say draw.io. And so I come here. So for QwenPaw, all you need is this. So let's see how we can do this. Let's just look for the configuration. I don't want to actually read much. Let's see. So how to install it. Oh, there's some documentations here. So let's go to the documentation and pull that. So let's see full documentation. Maybe here we are going to see, this is what I'm looking for out of the box. So I'm just going to like path to the MCP server. So let's look for something else. So let's go back. Let's look for this second one. So maybe this second one will give us. So I'm just basically looking for this. Let's see. Yes. So this is what I'm looking for. So I'm going to take this from here. So you see, I'm going to copy this. And then we're going to go to the to the QwenPaw desktop app. So all we need to do is create the client. And all I need to do is just take this one out here and paste this. So that's all. So put create. And you see, so this is how you add like the MCP client to. So let's look at how you can do the same thing using Hermes Agent. So in Hermes Agent, I think you have to go for settings and there's this thing called MCP. I think you can also give it a name and just paste that and save. And that's it. So I think in this perspective, they are almost the same. So for connecting to other agents like ACP, I didn't actually see this kind of feature out of the box here. So I'm going to talk about configuration. So basically, the QwenPaw agent is kind of like a React agent. So it has like, these are the maximum number of iterations. So this is where you could actually do some settings. So it has this backend for memory. So you could choose, you could put it on plan mode. You have a lot of other configurations you could do out of the box. But I think you have a lot of control here to what you could do. For example, you could decide to go for off mode. That means you could run things like RM, remove operations on files without it asking you for permission out of the box if you choose to. So, but you also have this, but I don't actually see, I see a safety feature here. So you see approval mode manual, you could also turn it off. So out of the box, so you see some advanced mode here where you could actually that your execution, you could do Docker, SSH, modal. So these are all sandboxes where you could also run. So I feel like for this also, for QwenPaw also, I feel it doesn't really have that. I didn't really see how you could, for example, for a particular agent, you could decide to create a sandbox. Although there's this environment feature that I see here, but it's just for no environment variable configured yet. So I do not really see that feature. So I think for extensibility, you see here, QwenPaw has this plugins. So you could look at the official plugins here. So you could see some of them here that are kind of like bundled into the application. So this one is like, so you see you could install most of them. So this one is CloudPaw. And then this one is like QwenPaw Pet. This one is GPT image tool. This one is Gwed image tool. And this one is video generation tool. So from the QwenPaw team. So if this is what you want to see, I think for Hermes Agent. So in conclusion, I don't want to like go make this video very lengthy, but in conclusion, you could see out of the box that both tools are similar, but just like I told you, I kind of like prefer QwenPaw. I still stick with the fact that the QwenPaw desktop application looks more usable for me. It looks more user-friendly. And I think if I'm going to be teaching someone who doesn't know much about programming or who is not too familiar with working with the terminal, I would definitely prefer QwenPaw any day. So this is kind of like the agents of so. I'm not saying Hermes Agent is actually very, very powerful if that's what you prefer. But I've kind of been using QwenPaw and I think it has not disappointed. I've used it to build like full stack applications. I have used it. So I even have for like some stacks, like this one is a Rust builder that builds Rust application. For Next.js applications, I have like this that builds for me. So it's been building applications. Look at, for example, this is an application that it built. So you could see this is kind of like a news application. So it gave me a screenshot after it was done building it, both backend and frontend. So it's been working very well. And I think I feel it's just a matter of choice. But for me, just like I said, I prefer QwenPaw to the Hermes Agent desktop.